Welcome, everyone. This is the Should I Start podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about innovators, creatives, and business owners for global listeners. The show is about the creative process that many artists, business, men and women employ when creating their works. You'll hear from musicians, producers, poets, photographers, innovators, business owners, and more. Please subscribe to our season and enjoy. I have a very, very talented creative. This one is different than what you are normally used to. He's very diverse, he's very cultural, and his style and aesthetic is very phenomenal and unyielding, like his craftsmanship.
Appreciate you, man. I try to keep it up, you know? Try to be detail-oriented as much as possible.
You know.
Anyways, yeah, my name is Anton Tito Kirindongo. Most people call me Tito. I was born in California, raised in South Florida.
West Coast, East Coast. How long have you been here for?
Been here over 20 years, and when I was born in Cali, literally first year I'm out. You know, we moved, so I was just born there.
Did any of your parents do any creative works?
No, actually, it was funny. I'm the only person that's really like creative. I come from a medical background, so a lot of people are like, "Are you gonna be a doctor like your father?" I was like, maybe, you know. And I was not at the time when I was being asked the question. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew what intrigued me the most, and that was like film, you know. So studying it, trying to figure out how they did certain things, you know, how they segue to different scenarios. I just loved it, you know. So I started in video, and then I moved to photography.
Oh, okay. What was the first movie that inspired that transition or that thought process?
Believe it or not, it was home videos.
What kind of home videos are we talking about? Vacation?
We're talking about more family-oriented films. So at a very young age, I was always around cameras. You know, my father really loved cameras. He wanted to be a photographer at the time. And I would watch with my family at least once a year. We would pull out the old tapes. And I found myself more frustrated than anything because I was like, yo, who is filming? Because it's always shaky. You know how your home videos are. They're shaky, you're not focusing, it's on the floor. It's just like, oh my gosh. So one of the main things, I was like, you know what? Give me the camera. I'll make sure I do whatever. So at an early age, I started coming behind the camera, zooming in, zooming out, just kind of like basic things. And then that kind of evolved into, you know, middle school when I got my first camera. I got a Fujifilm from my father. And then it went to college. No, went to high school, then college, and then, you know, here I am. Just kept going.
I see that unyielding came as a child. There's this man who's shaking
the
footage up. I'm just like, give me the camera.
It's good because sometimes it'd be you in the film. It's like, I want to see me, you know, how it was. And yeah, it was hit or miss.
Do you feel like that has died down the older and the more creative you've grown? Where it's just like, man, I'm in the footage. And then you get older, I'm doing the footage. And now it's like, I want to get back in front of the footage.
You know, yeah, life is kind of backwards like that, you know. But it makes you appreciate it a lot more. So getting behind the camera was really good in the sense of the storytelling part of things and capturing the moment and kind of setting up your little scenario and whatnot. But getting in front of it, that's a whole nother cadence right there. You know, it's a whole nother feeling, you know, because you are overthinking. You're like, oh, you know, how do I look? This and that. It's a bit much, but I like both. I like both perspectives. And now I'm trying to practice a little bit more, thanks to you and this podcast, you know, getting in front of the camera, you know, hearing my voice. Everyone hates their voice. I especially hate it, so.
No, he's lying. He's just like, I didn't have the right outfit.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I'd rather be in a suit like majority of the time. Like I really love, you know, dressing up, dapper.
Where'd you get that from?
What?
Dressing dapper.
I think it was another big curiosity of mine too. You know, I've just seeing a lot of like James Bond films, you know, as a kid growing up. It's just kind of like, oh, cool. And then now I'm more into the business side of things, the creative business side of things. So, a lot more client meetings. I always felt like, this is me. I've always been the one to always overdress or be the one that wears a suit. It's like, yo, Tito, we're playing ball, man. Why you coming out here in a whole 3-piece suit? So I got ranked on a little bit growing up, but it's just been a part of me, So now I'm kind of like trying to meet in the middle. So it's kind of like casual, but a little formal too. And that's worked out.
Yeah,
I'm like all over the list. I have the artist side, and I got like the super like business side as well.
It's like I can break your ankles, but just in case you're gonna sue
I'm like
me.
Prince out here with a whole little
just
figure skating outfit. Just what's up, which is cool.
You played other sports?
Yeah, I started in soccer. Soccer was my first love. I absolutely love soccer. Then basketball became my thing because you go to school, you have your friends and you have certain peers that are more on the basketball side. And that's how I got into that. I'm more of a shooter. Let's go home. A lot of people from high school don't know about that one, but yeah, it's a 3-point party, man.
So you always been a shooter, and now
always been a shooter, and like in every aspect of life, I've been a shooter, man. Yeah. I've been shooting my shot a lot.
Okay. Do you believe in overshooting, and then just like filtering, or do you believe in analyzing and capturing exactly what it is that you need?
I mean, it's both. Sometimes if you're doing like street photography, overshooting is good. It's like you can't ever film too much. You can't ever take a photograph too much unless you're just out of cards. But other than that, you try to shoot as much as possible. I mean, you always try to kind of envision your shot before you take it. You don't want to just go out there Rambo, just shoot everything up. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, if something is inspiring you, something interests you, yeah, you got to do that. Definitely.
Were you like that in the beginning? Were you Rambo?
I was Rambo, and in many cases I am still Rambo, but I contextualize it now, which is kind of like the same. We share the same sentiment. So it's not about now transitioning to in front of the camera, but it's like I'm still going to be behind the scenes. I'm still going to be the one that's shooting majority of the time and creating, but getting in front of the camera from time to time is good, like you said, to educate and help other people, or even just for guidance. A lot of times you have people that don't know what they want to do. It's like, I have a real interest in photography, but I'm not sure if it's a hobby or if it's like I want to achieve it for like a career or pursue it as a career. And I think that's very important too. All the situations and experiences I've had, especially a lot of failures, I feel like, I can talk about them now.
Are those
Uncut.
failures?
You got me, 100%. Ask away.
MTV signed the check.
And here's the thing, I never really had a real job. I mean, I think I was a TCT, which is kind of like a step below CNA.
I don't know what both of those are. Are you a gang member?
Huh?
Are you a gang member?
No,
You got to break down those
all.
acronyms for me, man.
Only creative industry. I'm part of that game. That's it. But
Photoshop.
Touch care technician, and then CNA is obviously behind RN.
Okay.
So I'm a lot of older people, taking care of people. That was what I did. Nursing homes, retirement homes. That's what I did. And that was when I was in college. I was just kind of get a little bit of money. Then I transitioned to being an ophthalmic tech. So I was kind of working with clients that need their eyes checked and whatnot. And that was just kind of like another park versus like, I need money now. I just got to do it now. And then after that, it's just been from that point on, I try to get a bank job. I try to do other things. I was like, you know what? Let's just go with the thing that I absolutely love, which is, picking up the camera. And that has transitioned to all the success I've had now. It's just the opportunities that just came. That was my ticket to so many collaborations, so many businesses I work with. And I started with weddings, That's where I kind of found my style of shooting, how I shoot, what perspectives I like the most. And then it kind of built from there.
Okay, so you started off with a Fuji film camera.
I did. It was a point and shoot. Not sure exactly which one.
That was a hand? That was a hand-me-down? That was like...
No, it was brand new, but I was in middle school. Mm. So when I got it, it was just like, I just saw Fuji film. I didn't go to like really investigate what kind of camera it was, what its capabilities was. I just was happy to have the camera in my hand. And I was just shooting. I even took it all the way up to high school with me. And then I actually had 2 point shoots. I had a Canon, and then I had the Fuji film. The Fuji film broke. I don't know, it fell or I don't know what happened to it, but it just stopped working. I guess I overshot it. I was Ramboing it on that one. They're like, yo, no more. And then when I got the Canon point and shoot, that's when I was introduced to a bigger SD card. And then I started to really kind of, I could back up my footage. I could categorize things. And I was shooting JPEG. This is before RAW. I was just shooting completely JPEG. It was terrible. And so a lot of those memories that I have are, I can't do much with them. I can't blow them up. I can't do anything. So, but it was good for social media purposes. So I was that guy that, you know what, this event, I didn't take photos, but go to Tito, I'm pretty sure he did it. And yeah, in high school, I was always the one that had all the footage, even videos and photos. I was doing both. I was just like, let's go to clips, let's go to photos. And that was interesting. So I had my rep. It's like, okay, you're the artist, you're the creative, off bat.
So you have the photos, you have the clips. So what kind of program is your choice when it comes to editing video and photo?
Primary softwares are Premiere and then Adobe Lightroom.
They're both Adobe, right?
Yeah.
They're both Adobe. Okay, so you're in
For
Adobe.
those that don't know, both of them are Adobe. I don't mix. It's very difficult too. Unless you're doing like iPhoto. Yeah, so for Lightroom, 90% of my process happens there. That's where you have all your LUTs, and then if you do need to go heavy lifting, then you use Photoshop. So it's between those two. When I do edit videos, it's definitely Premiere. I do miss Final Cut though. Final Cut is the beat, man. That's what I started on.
Yeah?
No, I actually started on iMovie. Yeah.
Man,
I had a 2011 MacBook.
Oh, you started off with an Apple too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve Jobs.
The white girl, all white MacBook. I started there, iMovie, and then I've been Apple pretty much all my life.
No, you never segued to
I mean,
Android?
with my phones, yeah. Sony Ericsson to a couple other smartphones, but when it came to what I do now, it's been Apple primarily. I did kind of park and do Windows. We had like a built one that we had at the office, but that was short-lived, probably just a year. But Adobe, Lightroom, and Premiere is what I use.
Okay. So what camera do you have currently?
Right now I have the Canon 5D Mark III.
Okay.
So I believe it's like, 3-4 years old now?
No clue.
3 years, I believe.
Don't worry. We'll put that information in the
video. It's cool. I mean, it's not really about the gear. It's really about what you're creating with what your vision is. And then when you have any camera, you kind of figure it out and then see if it's able to achieve what you want. So I kind of take that mindset, that perspective on it, and it's worked out pretty well. Obviously I want to get the 1DX and try out the 5D4. We'll see. I'm actually trying to go back to Fujifilm, which is crazy.
Okay.
Gotta go back to the first love eventually, And I just like it's more compact. Right now, the 5D3 is still big. I got the grip on it and everything, so it's just like super massive, man. So I'm trying to go back to something a little bit more petite. So
yeah, but the weight compensates for the weight of the camera actually compensates when you're doing video and photography.
Oh yeah, for stability and whatnot.
I didn't know that. Like when you have a heavier piece of glass, when you're filming, you can get steadier shots. And when you have lighter lenses, like the plastic ones, you're just like, oh, I'm shaking a lot more because there's no weight to counterbalance when you're.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to go gorilla style, I'm Rambo. You going gorilla style, hand holding things, but yeah, I think it all helps. Especially more weight, a little bit more stability. It's cool.
So I hope you guys love this video and the videos that I have been producing.
Let's go.
I love the people, I love the guests. If there's any feedback that you would like to give me, please let me know in the comments below.
Yes.
If you can please subscribe. If there's any way that I can improve on it, let me know. I would be glad to hear it. And I also want to know what's on your mind. This is an ongoing conversation.
Let's go.
I want to, understand you guys more. I want to provide more value, more content for you.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that I can do, just please let me know. I'll gladly help out to the best of my abilities to provide you this content.
You're crushing it, bro. Let's go.